I'm fascinated by ancient myths and legends, especially the ones about creation. There are so many different stories about how the world began, but they all seem to share one common thread. The cultures that tell these stories use them to explain not just how the world began, but also how humans came to be. We didn't just stumble onto the planet fully formed, according to these stories. We were created by supernatural beings who imbued us with gifts and, more importantly, with purpose. The Sumerians believed that humans were created from clay by the gods. The Greeks told stories of Prometheus, who stole fire from the gods and gave it to mortals. And the Egyptians had a creation myth that involved the sun god Re creating the first human, which then birthed more humans when it sneezed. Each of these stories is wildly different, yet they all share this common theme of divine assistance. Humans weren't just born, we were given life and purpose by the gods. But why do I think that ancient people needed these stories? Well, let's look at some other animals. Even though dogs have been domesticated for thousands of years, they still live with a strong sense of purpose. They help their human families in any way they can, often putting the safety and happiness of their family above their own needs. They evolved from wolves, animals driven by pure survival instincts. So what changed? Well, over thousands of years of domestication, humans selectively bred wolves with other wolves until their descendants became more tame and more eager to please humans than their wild wolf cousins. But wolves and dogs are still quite similar, so there must have been some genetic throwback going on here as well. Wolves often form strong bonds with their human counterparts, but they don't quite have the same sense of purpose or desire to help as domesticated dogs. As hunter-gatherers, humans also live with a strong sense of purpose, working together as a community to find food and shelter. But as we advance and settle down into villages and eventually cities, our lives became more complex. Farming allowed us to stay in one place and raise our own food instead of constantly chasing after wild herds. This lifestyle required cooperation on an even greater scale than hunting and gathering, since fields do and pick themselves. Villagers had to work together, cooperating and sharing tasks in order to thrive. So let's get back to those creation myths. Could they have served as a way to instill a sense of purpose in humans? The ancient world was full of mystery, things that we now understand to be caused by natural phenomena, things like rain, lightning, and even death itself. The ancient world was also full of changes, the changing of the seasons, the changing of day into night, and even the changing of one's life from birth to adulthood. Without a scientific understanding of the world, these changes could be terrifying. Myths and legends about creation and purpose would have been a way to explain these changes and instill a sense of order in the world. By explaining how the world began and why humans were put on Earth, these stories would have helped people understand their place in the universe and the purpose of their existence. They would have provided a sense of comfort and security in a world that was otherwise full of uncertainty. These stories would have also served as a way to teach important lessons and values to younger members of society. By embedding these lessons in stories that were often passed down through oral tradition, they were able to make them more memorable and impactful. This is the same reason that we still tell stories today. Stories have the ability to transport us to other worlds and make us feel deeply, even if the story is unbout us. We lose ourselves in the narrative and become invested in the characters and their journeys. This is because stories are a powerful way to explore complex themes and ideas in a way that is both engaging and thought-provoking. Of course, this is just one possible explanation for why ancient societies created these types of stories. There may be other, more complex reasons why these stories arose. But as someone who works in education, I can speak to the power of storytelling in engaging young minds and making learning more memorable. It's no surprise that some of the most popular educational programs use storytelling to bring history and science to life. So the next time you hear a story about creation or purpose, take a moment to appreciate the power of storytelling and its ability to shape our understanding of the world around us. Until next time, thanks for watching.